Well, first, I have a question here, Mike, and then I'd like
Yeah.
to also, ask members of our team, um, what their thoughts and comments are, what they see. Uh, First off, I know one thing I noticed when you were showing uh, the URL keywords in the URL. One thing I noticed was the keyword prominence of the keyword in your screen. The keyword prominence, if it was a string, that the keyword had quite a bit of prominence. It was in the front. Uh, Now, going through some other results that you might have had, do you also notice that in other search results that the keyword prominence plays a big part in the ranking in the URL string?
Well, no, actually, I mean, I found quite the opposite. That the keyword in the URL uh, was really poorly correlated, almost white noise. I guess when you look at these search results, the ones that I was showing, you can actually see that the keyword tends to be in the URL, but that doesn't make any difference. It doesn't seem to impact search ranking at all. Like maybe not at all. Like seriously, not at all. Like it may
Okay.
actually, my finding is in essence zero. I would say it's as close to white noise as anything that I've seen.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. And one comment I want to make, before we start taking some of the questions here, I'm looking, you mentioned your team kind of, the looks on your team. My team here is kind of the opposite way. I got some geeks here that work with us, David and Steven, and their just eyes are just popping out, what they've seen here. And just so,
Awesome.
those of you that are on this webinar right now that might just seem a little bit overwhelmed by Mike's presentation. Mike did mention in the beginning that, he has the program, he sells the program. This is where he makes his money, and he does not do any consultation in here. As far as, if you were to call Mike or a member of his team, he would not, sit down with you and work with you. However, we do this. This is part of some of the things we do. So if this is something you like to have integrated, maybe look a little bit more into, our team, David and Stephen, are going to be implementing a lot of the things that Mike presented in today's webinar in our site reviews. So if there's if you're interested in using these metrics or what Mike presented here, and however you're just not really sure how to implement that, we can help you do this. Now, Mike, we have a bunch of questions here. Whoops, let me go back and bring that screen back here.
Oh, good. I don't think that I can see them. Maybe
Okay,
I
do you
should
see
just
my
change the
screen?
way.
Oh, I know. I see the questions, so I'll ask them to you, Mike.
Yeah, yeah, that
Um,
sounds good.
all right, now we have a bunch of questions here. Is there going to be a replay of this webinar? Because either they were too late or something. Yes, there will be a replay. Typically takes us, a couple days to render the video and to do the things we need to do. But here in the next couple days, we'll have the webinar replay of the webinar. We'll send the link out to everybody that'd like to see this again, and please again share it with your friends. This is a
Yeah,
question from.
we'll also publish some. I mean, I'll probably break this into the presentation into a few articles, and we'll republish it along with the data and um, you know the slides and presentation and stuff. It'll take us not too long. We'll see how long that takes. Uh, Somehow it always seems easier for me to explain these things like in person than like when I write it down. I don't know why.
Okay.
Or not. I don't know. Maybe it just came like off horribly.
No, you did great. This is a great webinar, Mike, and I'm literally me and my team are just sitting here just awestruck about your presentation because you over delivered, my friend. You did a great job. Now these
I'm
are some
glad.
questions. These are some questions from our members that are on the webinar tonight. And Mike, if you just maybe grab a pencil or maybe have somebody on your staff that are sitting behind you, maybe to kind of select the best question out of all these. And what we're going to do at the end of the webinar is
Sure.
we're going to award 1 free hour consultation with myself.
Yeah.
So this is a question from Cora Lynn. Do you think low competition, high volume are the best words? So that basically she's going back to what I would consider like the long tail keywords. Do you think that's the best strategy to use when looking for keywords for your particular niche?
you know, low competition, high volume. I mean, that's obviously good. I would probably include, you know, like the value of the volume. Personally, I'd try to look and see how well, you know, because generally speaking, high cost per click keywords are more transactional in nature, and low cost per click keywords are more informational or navigational in nature. And so, you know, if your goal is to convert somebody, then you'll probably want to take you know, CPC or cost per day or something like that into account. And we have those filters. If you know, if I were in Keyword Smart Search, there you can actually just filter by cost per day or cost per click, or do those sort of same sorts and filters.
Okay, and she just replied, yes, after seeing this makes sense. So CPC that are higher, she just replied to that. And she thanks you for that. Question from E-Rock Christopher. He's out in the Avondale area. He's an Arizona native here. E-Rock's question is, can we actually buy SpyFu at the end of this presentation? Your site says it's closed. One thing, you know, we will send out a link for those of you that want to learn more about SpyFu. I'll be honest with you guys, it's going to be an affiliate link. This kind of help pay for any of, you know, our costs in putting this webinar on. So we'll send that link out. Actually, it's posted on the sign up page. But Mike, we have a couple comments here saying that they tried to sign up and that your site is saying it's closed.
My site says that it's closed.
Yeah, that they tried. It's closed to new customers.
www.spyfu.com. spyfu.com.
Yeah, okay. Just go to the website directly. We had a couple.
Maybe it's up for me, and I appreciate the question.
Maybe it was the affiliate link that, you know, maybe it was the affiliate link we sent out earlier that.
Oh, that could be.
So
click on the affiliate link.
We'll check on it.
Click on the affiliate link, and I'll tell you what. Hop on live chat and ask Danielle, and we'll give you anybody that's on the line here. We'll give 25% off their first month.
Okay, that's hey
good?
Guys. Okay, log in. Repeat that again. So you know. You guys
just log on. Click on your affiliate link, right, and then go to live chat and talk to Danielle. I can see her from here.
Okay.
Or actually I can't, but somebody is walking in there to tell her, and you know, tell her that you're on the webinar, and we'll give you a 25% off first month.
Well, thank you, Mike. That's great. So you're going to be saving some money on that. This is a question from Steve. How does the value?
Make it 50%. We'll make it 50% off the first
50%
month.
50% off. Listen to this.
50% off the first month.
50% off the first month. Wow, that's, you know, guys, you know, that's a cool offer. So, you know, just log into live chat, let them know that you're on this webinar, and you know, get that done. This is a question from Steve. How does the value concept transfer to the nonprofit world? I'm going to have to click on this to get a little further of what he's asking here, and then go back over here. I.e., they offer their services for free and want to compete against other websites that have fee for service providers. So, does that make sense to you, Mike? His question.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, it sort of goes to, and I had a slide in here, but I like jumped over it. Do you want to switch back?
Yeah, I can give you back, presenter. Sure. Hold on one second.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, you're the presenter again, Mike.
All right, let's see here. Go from the beginning, blah, 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 blah. No. So ultimately, you need to figure out what your goal is, right? And I'm not quite sure. I mean, I know what nonprofits would be doing, but it seems like probably like a lead gen thing. I'm not actually sure what the model is, and I don't know that like all nonprofits have the same model. I know that you can certainly be selling things on your nonprofit, or you could just be, you know, based on, you know, trying to get the word out, so it'd be like more content driven, or you could be trying to get people to, you know, sign up, give their information, so it'd be more like a lead gen thing. But in my mind, nonprofit and profit are really not that different. They both have business models, the question is really only whether or not at the end of the year you want to have profits. But then again, I don't know much about nonprofits. I run businesses for profit, so I could be like just completely wrong. But if I were looking at it, I'd try to like say, okay, what's our ultimate goal?
Yeah.
What are we trying to achieve?
Yeah. This is another question from E-Rock. What was the sample size of your study? And was this just one keyword search when you were doing your study? How broad did you get on that?
So it was 1,389 keywords, the top 50 results. So it turned out to be about 65,000 results.
Wow. This is a question from Mark Lund. How are you coming up with your X and Y formula?
X and Y formula? I'm not quite sure what that.
Okay, I'll ask.
What in
Mark,
regards to the is he talking about the Spearman?
Yeah, the Spearman
correlation coefficient deal?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, hold on one second. You can still see my screen, right?
Yes.
This would be me writing, and at the bottom here is a bit of a deal about my methodology. And part of that is here's this little link right here. If you are the guy that's asking that question, I'm not sure where I can paste this, but it's a shortened link.
You got the chat box there. You can post it.
Can I paste it right into the chat box?
Yeah, post it right into the chat box and then send that out to everybody.
So that is how you can calculate Spearman. I actually use something somewhat more, I don't know, like programmery, but I actually started out doing it that way, and that's just basically using Excel and doing a scatter plot and taking basically making a scatter plot and then doing a linear regression on it, which gives you an actual R squared, and then you just basically take the square root of the R squared, which gives you Spearman.
Okay. Question for
I just pasted it to not everybody. I need to paste this to everybody.
Okay, you pasted it.
I can only send it to organizers and panelists.
Okay, well I could grab it here, Mike. Hold on.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna have to go to the page here, click on your link, and then I could grab it, and then I could post it in here.
Let's see if I have.
All right, so I just sent out the link to everybody.
Yeah. So here's what here's like the this is not, I didn't put this in the slide, but I did this myself. This is the correlation between Moz domain authority, SEO Moz domain authority, and SPY domain strength. And so this is similar to what I do, right? I basically do an XY plot in Excel, and then you basically right click on it and then do like add trend line. And then that lets you choose to do linear or whatever. Do a linear regression, and then that also calculates this thing called R squared value. R squared value is, I believe, Pearson's or something in this case. Or no, it's not. It's actually not Pearson's. But if you basically take the square root of that number, which I did right here, take the square root of the same number, 0.588, that gives you the Spearman correlation coefficient. That DGO thing there is, in essence, is going to show you how to do that. But anyway.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Another question from Mark, and I noticed this in your slides when you were going over this, but just to maybe cover it again. Does PageRank matter anymore? Does Google PageRank matter anymore in your view?
Google PageRank, right? In my opinion, Google PageRank is not in my opinion. The data show that, and I'll find this slide here, that it's the least important factor. And in fact, talk about trying to get page level metrics, getting page rank at the page level, I got like 20%. I got such a small number that I didn't even include it in here. I actually did it, but then it was just like, it looked so bad. Even when I gave it the best case scenario, it was like, you know, 0.07 or something like that. It wasn't very good at all. And there's just so many other things that are better, that are just as easy to calculate. You can just look at number of results on the homepage, number of home pages in the SERP, and that's like, what, almost 50% better, at least 40% better. 0.07, right, versus 0.11. That's just counting the number of results in the homepage, or results that are search results that are a homepage.
Okay, cool. All right. This is a question from David. I'll spell the last name, Kaleky. His question is, if he optimized the site according to your monthly program, SpyFu, and I moved up in Google and the rank is holding its place, then I see the projection via your software's change. Why would I re-optimize, or how would I know when to re-optimize if they're staying within the same placement?
I'm not sure that I follow. Is he basically arguing that if he moves up in ranks that my algorithm is going to change?
If he was number one, if he had the number one position, if he used your program, this is the way I'm interpreting it. If you use your program and went to number one, and held that number one position, what could he do then further with your program to make sure he maintained the number one position? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, I would look for other opportunities. When you're in the number one position, you obviously can't go to negative. You can't go to zero. So ultimately, you just build additional content that sort of supports that, right? You build like your domain strength or the backlinks and stuff like that. I mean, ultimately, I sort of don't get into giving advice very much on exactly what SEO work or how you should do your SEO work. I try to focus on sort of being independent third party that gives you the metrics. I mean, I have my ideas, but I'd actually defer to your judgment, Roy.
Okay, I just had the doorbell ring. I had to run to the doorbell. Okay, what is the range of your keyword difficulty scores? And this is another question for E-Rock.
It looks like it goes to about 300, but it's not. I didn't put it on I didn't want to compress it down to like a linear scale. So it's actually non-linear, but I haven't seen personally anything over 300 yet. And you can certainly get down to 0 or so. But the idea of not having it go from like 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 and like squeezing everything in there is that you can effectively use it to divide your opportunity into. So if you have something that has, we would call it like click value per day or click value per month, meaning essentially the number of clicks that you expect to get based on the number one position times like the adjusted CPC value, you would be able to divide that number into the difficulty and not have big keywords always dominate, because that's sort of the weakness in any system that there is right now, is that basically you divide like a free credit report versus I don't know, something with a low volume, cheap tickets to India. Free credit report's always going to win, even though cheap tickets to India might actually be a better keyword because it's easier to rank on and because it's more transactionally targeted. There's a lot of reasons that it could be better. But free credit report would always win because it gets like, people spend $10,000 a day on it. It gets a pretty decent volume.
Okay, we're just going to we have a literally, quite a few questions here, Mike, and I'm
Mhm.
just going to pick three of these out here. I mean, we probably have about another 50 questions.
You're
But
serious? That's
yeah,
a
but
lot of questions.
yeah, but
If
what
you
we'll
send
do
them
is we'll
over,
take.
I'll answer them all,
Okay, what I'll do is, yeah,
and
what
post
I'll do
them
is
someplace, send them back to you.
I'll save this and I'll send them out to you. Um,
Awesome.
and anyway, the one question here, what was the affiliate link? I just put in the chat box the link to that sign up page, and on that sign up page is the affiliate link to sign up for SpyFu. And just remember to do live chat. And what was that person's name again, Mike? I forgot.
Danielle, or whoever answers. It'll
Or
probably be
whoever
Danielle.
answers. Okay, just use live chat
Hmm.
and say you're on this webinar and that you want to get that 50% off for the first month. Um, this is a question. Actually, there's a lot of duplicate questions here. So anyway, this one is asked about 6 times. What's the best? And I'm going to take Patrick's because he's on top of the list. He was the first one to ask this. What's the best way to use SpyFu with a brand new website?
So on SpyFu, you can type any domain name in and see every keyword that domain ranks on. And so that's sort of our thing, right? Is that you can figure out what your competitors are doing right. And we don't just tell you here's the list of keywords. We actually tell you here's the list of keywords. On SpyFu, there's a couple of different things that we focus on, and that is that people on AdWords, for example, they'll waste a lot of money on AdWords, but they don't waste a lot of money for a long time. So we look at history as a very important indicator and use it as a process of elimination to figure out what's profitable, right? Because eventually they stop. Even the people that are lazy stop buying keywords that they're losing money on. From an SEO perspective, you can look and see like what are the keywords that they've managed to rank on, what are the pages that have been their most effective pages, sort of which link bait that they have and that type of deal. And you use it in conjunction with like exploring backlinks and so on. The other thing that I thought I'd drop as a mention is that you can also track, like SpyFu tracks keywords. We have our own list, but if you want us to track a different set of keywords, you can actually, as a subscriber, you can actually add in keywords for us to track. Not only can you track them weekly on SpyFu and do the sort of SERP tracking thing that you used to be able to do with Raven, looking at the top 100 in Google and Bing, but you can actually also add those keywords to expand, our list, so it'll also pick up your competitors. It's sort of not the most commonly known thing about SpyFu is that you can actually track keywords. We have a SERP tracker. It integrates with our SEO reports. Basically our SEO sales reports.
Oh,
So
cool.
on.
That was a question that was asked just before your webinar, and so Mark, there you go. Mark Goodman asked me that question just about 15 minutes before the webinar.
All right.
2 more questions here, Mike. This one's for Jose. When will SpyFu be available for different countries / languages?
That's a good question. It's available for the UK, and I suspect someday, but we keep wanting to focus on making the actual predictions better and better and better, and basically getting, really conquering Google.com. And the other thing is that it's a challenge to do other countries well, because we essentially want to spend as much money as we can. I mean, the SpyFu thing is the Google.com thing is sort of the biggest thing, right? And so we basically want to focus all of our energy and all of our money, all of the revenue that we get from paid subscribers, into doing the best work we can, crunching the numbers, coming up with not just data but answers to that problem. And as you go down, into other countries, and the market gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and so other people have SpyFu-like sites for other countries, but they're not as good. They're not as much. There's not as much data even. Nobody really collects full SpyFu scale data sets in any other country. We happen to do it for the UK, but we're only marginally profitable doing it. And so maybe when maybe what we'll end up doing is hardware and software costs or whatever will catch up, and we'll be able to do that. But that's sort of the challenge is we want to do a premium job. We effectively want to calculate profitability and give you a roadmap for your SEO. But that's like, we basically buy the biggest machines, the biggest servers that you can possibly, and they're like 400 pounds. We have lots of them. And doing that same scale for other countries is, it cuts into profitability.
Okay. I'm going to add just another question in here, just because there's a number of them, and it's a real simple one to answer. And the first one asked this was Mark Goodman. How about a SpyFu book or video for dummies? Do you have anything for that?
You know, it's funny. We have like my in-house video guy is here. We have like probably 120 videos or something like that, right? Somewhere in the 100 videos. But we're currently producing our first ebook, but it's not on SpyFu and it's not on SpyFu for Dummies. But what we have been talking about this year, starting this year, is really doing some more tutorial style, like maybe 10, 15-minute video lengths. We do a lot of intro video. We have like really high quality intro videos for every one of our products, but then taking it a little bit like deeper. We don't have that. Well, we do have it, but just we don't have it in every place. And I'd like to be able to take you from like almost like a, how do I get started with my brand new my website and build an SEO, build it into an SEO empire, and walk you through that and have that sort of a track. And generally we have more like, here's the product, here's like its features, go to town. But yeah, we're actually actively working on I think like 2 or 3, Patrick. It's 3 or 4. He says 3 or 4. He's got 3 or 4 scripts in the works, and the problem is that we're effectively completely overhauling, a lot of the site. So getting the right screenshots and stuff like that is a challenge. But I think we're just about to be ahead of the curve in terms of Patrick's
maybe we could do a webinar
now.
down the road. SpyFu for Dummies. Maybe we could schedule a webinar down the road.
I know, these are the best things. Like just yeah. It gives me a nice deadline. I have to sit down and do it.
All right, last
coffee
question
to get myself amped up.
The last question, and Pete. It's from Pete, and Pete won the free consultation last week. So, please don't put him in the mix. Otherwise, he's going to be living here with me. He keeps on winning these. But basically, Pete's question is that, you seem to put a lot of importance in age domains. Do you think these are good for the long term then?
What domain age?
Yeah, his question basically is you seem to, in the webinar, put a lot of importance on having an age domain. So do you think that this is something that's going to last for the long term?
Well, see, the thing is if you register a domain like, 13 years ago and never put any content on it, I don't really think that Google looks at that in any way, shape, or form. And I'm actually not sure that Google actually looks at that in any as a metric that they use to drive their algorithm. Correlation is not causation. It just happens that sites that show up in our database, meaning we've been searching the same keywords for 79 months. Every month we search for the same keywords, and it's that consistency that gives us the ability to predict. But when we look back and we're like, oh look, this site showed up, and and from our perspective, they were born 79 months ago versus 3 months ago. That has a very strong correlation, or a pretty strong correlation, with the search rankings. And so that metric, of course, I mean, that just makes sense, right? The longer you've been on, it's probably, it's going to correlate, but I don't think that Google takes it into account.
Okay.
Really.
Okay, cool. And so, hopefully you and your team selected somebody to be the winner. But before we announce the winner, just a couple things I just want to kind of go over. First off, these are, those of you who are on the call watching this video, we do quite a bit of SEO training, and these are just some of the comments. If you go to our LinkedIn page, some of the comments some of our students have said, kind of written. This is from Barbara. The training that she received from our SEO training she's been to a class here this weekend. Basically, she's saying it's outstanding. The video training that we have, the live instructor training, the videos and stuff like that. We also have a meetup. Those of you that are in the Phoenix area, we meet once a month and have a meetup. If you want more information about our meetup, just email me. I just don't have a page on that right now, but just basically, here's the link: meetup.com/AZSEO training. And our next meetup is actually next Wednesday night. So those of you that are in the Phoenix area like to come out, basically we have a free 1-hour web training thing. This is Alan Buckner. He's the sales director at the American Red Cross. And, Alan's very kind here. He says, well, I'm without a doubt one of the best internet marketers, practitioners, and instructors he's ever been involved in. Dedication, professionalism is untiring. Thank you, Alan, for that. Tom Wilkerson, he has a website for online forklift certification, and he's, basically saying that we're cutting edge in marketing strategies and methods. Now, if those of you that like to maybe write something on our LinkedIn page, it's LinkedIn, and my name, Roy Ryer. I really would welcome any testimonials that you guys might have. Anyway, in March, we're going to have our more advanced SEO training workshops. On March 8th and 9th, we're hosting a 2-day SEO workshop for the essentials. And then on the 16th, we have our local search workshop. It's a 1-day local search workshop. There's going to be a total of actually 5 instructors for that one workshop here. It's going to be a really intense workshop. We're going to have a lot of fun with that one. And those of you that like to learn a little bit more advanced SEO stuff, on March 22nd through the 24th, we have our 3-day advanced workshop. We're just outside of Phoenix, about 65 miles outside of Phoenix. If you want more information about our training, some of the classes and stuff like that, just go to our website, SEOtrainingsW.com. There's the link right on top, SEO workshops, and you can see that there. And for those of you on the call, I want to thank you, Mike. I want to thank you for your time, your staff for your time. And who's the winner today? Who am I going to give a free 1-hour consultation to this coming weeks, Mike?
Well, I got to tell you, I really liked the second question, which was like, oh, how can I buy SpyFu? And like, because it gave me the opportunity to be like, oh, and for everybody, it was like, oh, you get the opportunity to get 50% off if you hop online there. But the winner, voted by everyone here, was Mark Goodman.
Okay.
The 5th question or something like that, or actually whatever. He actually asked several questions. So
he had a couple questions. The last one was SpyFu for Dummies.
Yeah.
Mark, congratulations. Get with me. I have your email address, so I'll be emailing you, or Mark, get in touch with me, and we'll give you that 1 free hour consultation. Mike, again, thank you for a call. We will have a replay available of this webinar here in the next couple of days. We'll have it posted on the site, and everybody will be getting a link to that participated today. Excuse me. And so this is Roy Ryer from SEOtrainingsW.com. Thank you for being part of the webinar. Mike, again, thank you for a great webinar. You blew everybody away. Thank you very much for that.
Thanks a lot. Have a great night, or a great afternoon, I guess.
Yeah, great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.